Welcome to the Victory Project podcast, undoing hopelessness with a godly purpose, love, and accountability. Since 2009, we've believed it's less about what we do and more about what we undo through education, entrepreneurship, and enlightenment. You're here because you believe a city on a hill cannot be hidden. Let's shine that light. Let's build victory together.
Welcome to the Victory Project podcast. Season 2, episode 4, another wonderful episode planned with an amazing guest. But before we introduce our guest, I'll introduce who we have here hosting the show. I'll be your host, Keyshawn, Senior Program Director at our high school campus. Then across from me, one of our awesome students, Cameron. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
And our wonderful, amazing question that I just love that we're going to ask today. What are you most excited for that school's getting ready to start?
I'm excited to learn some new things, and I'm ready to prepare for college.
That's a good answer.
What's your favorite subject?
Lunch.
Gotta eat.
He's honest.
Gotta eat.
He's honest. Then right next to him is another one of our high school students, Antonio. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
And same question. What
I'm most excited about being closer to school being over. So sophomore year. So yeah.
Closer to school being over, but it'll be your first. Okay.
No, I'm saying
all right.
done with high school. And
Okay. Next part of your life. All right. I would have said gym, man. Gym was where I was at. Dodgeball, especially you can just throw it hard at the freshmen, and they just take it like a champ.
Little hazing.
Of course.
All fine.
With our amazing guest, Joanna Garcia. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me. Big fan.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. And before we jump into our line of questioning, or read a bio. Joanna is a leader, mentor, and community builder who believes in saying yes to new opportunities and helping others find their path. As an attorney and executive leader, she has built her career by embracing challenges, creating meaningful relationships, and investing in others' success. From mentoring students and new professionals to serving her community, Joanna is passionate about making people feel welcomed and supported. Guided by a lifelong commitment to service, she strives to help others get where they want to go. Her leadership and impact were recently recognized by the Dayton Business Journal in the 40 under 40 category. Wow, that's quite amazing. And we'll start with your upbringing. You mentioned earlier about your experience as a first-generation college student. Could you tell us a little bit about that, the challenges that came with it, and how you overcame it?
I am. So my parents are wonderfully amazing people, and they've always wanted me to do anything that I enjoyed. So for those of you who know me, this will come as no surprise. Cheerleading and dance were the two things I loved the most. And they always encouraged me and supported me. And my dad says to this day, because I started at such a young age, it gave me a lot of confidence and it got rid of a lot of fears for me. So I chose to go to the Ohio State University, which was about 3.5 hours from where I grew up. And I really didn't know many people. There were a few people from my high school who went, but I didn't know many people. My cousins had gone there, but they had since graduated. And the first thing I did was signed up for any opportunity I could. So one of the first things they had was an opportunity to be what they called an OWL, an Ohio State Welcome Leader. So I got there to campus about 4 to 5 days before any of the other students. I got to move into my dorm early. I met my roommate early. I got to see the campus a little earlier. But then 4 to 5 days later, I helped new students move in. So it was a really great experience at first, just meeting new people, helping a bunch of people move into the building, meeting them as they were coming in. And then just as I kept going, there was another organization on campus. And I said, let's go check that one out. So what I did was just start branching out and making my own community because I didn't know many people. And the best way for me to get involved was to make Ohio State, which is such a huge campus, feel a little bit smaller. And I took advantage of every opportunity to have a meeting with my counselor. Or if I had a professor who wanted to meet with me afterwards, I would go meet with the professor after class and talk about my grades just to get to know somebody a little bit more. Because at that time, I still really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my career, what I wanted to do with my degree. And I actually came in undecided. They called it at the time the exploration program. So I was an undecided major. And my first course I took was a philosophy course. And at the very end, it was called the history of criminology. And I'm from Youngstown, Ohio. So there's a very proud population of Italians up there. And there's also a little some ties to some organized crime. So the big joke was, I'm going to go in and be an attorney for the mafia. But criminology was fascinating for me. And because I took that program, I ended up majoring in criminology. I took a minor in Italian, but it just was each individual step I took of learning something new took me on the next path. So when I decided I wanted to go to law school, there were no attorneys in my family. So my parents were, again, incredibly supportive, but I had to do the outreach on my own. I had to find the attorneys and ask them, what can I do? What are my next steps? Where do I go from here? So when I talk about in the introduction, always saying yes to new opportunities, it really was a way for me to advance where I wanted to be because I just didn't know what the next steps were. I didn't know what was coming after sophomore year of high school sometimes or what was coming after lunch. So it was easy enough just for me to keep meeting new people and finding new opportunities.
Okay. Would you say there was a mentor or someone early in your life who helped you believe in yourself?
I really think it was my parents. My mom had a way of always telling me, you can do anything you want to do. And just believed her. And it was great. I mean, when you have someone like that who supports you, my parents came to all of my events. My dad coached me in sports. Having that growing up, in addition to, being on stage dancing and cheering, really gave me the confidence to not be afraid to fail. Because if my mom says I can do anything, well, sure, I'll just try it. I'll just see what happens. And again, that comes with that just saying yes, trying something new. And if I think I can do it, I'll put my best foot forward and reach for the best outcome. And if I fail or if I fall short, at least I tried and I learned something new and I can either try again or I can realize I need to pivot and try something a little different. I think it was just a lot of people that I saw in my life who were willing to help me. So whether it was in law school where I wanted to learn more about a specific area or a specific firm, and attorneys were so willing to meet with me. Or in high school when I wanted to learn more at first I wanted to be a veterinarian growing up because I love dogs. So I had a shadowing day where I went to work with a veterinarian and I got to shadow him the whole day. And he spent the whole day telling me about his job and what he did and what it was like, the really fun days and sometimes the really hard days. So that was really nice as well. But I would say my mentors have been collaborative throughout my life. It hasn't been just one person. It's been a lot of people collectively who have helped me. I remember one time I think I was in middle school and my great uncle decided on Christmas Day, the whole family was going to go serve Christmas dinner at a homeless shelter. And even from that age in middle school, that had such a huge impact on me. And I just remember enjoying every second of it, enjoying talking to the people. Santa was there, which was really fun for me. So it was just one of those experiences of serving others and helping others. It made me feel really good inside. So as I got older, I kept that with me. And even as a student in high school, when I got my driver's license, I would drive to the local dog shelter, Angels for Animals, and I would clean out the dog cages at some horrible early hour. I would probably say but probably 9 a.m. And for a high schooler on a Saturday, come on. I mean, you guys do landscaping on weekends. You know that's not easy. Yeah. But I would get up and I would clean out the dog cages, get all the junk out of there. But then at the end, I got to sit down and whatever puppies were in the cage, I'd get to play with them for the day. So it was just a way for me to spend my time in a very useful way. And I think just seeing my family do it and my family encourage it along the way was very helpful.
Okay. Could you tell us what was the biggest challenge you've had to overcome as a leader?
I would say the biggest challenge for me is just coming into a situation where I'm very unknown. So I came down here for law school, didn't really know anybody. I was elected as the executive president of the Student Bar Association, but really not many people knew me. They didn't know much about me. So I felt like I really had to prove myself. And when I was elected to Beaver Creek City Council, still very few people really knew me. So it was one of those situations where in order for me to get my bearings and in order for me to prove myself, I worked really hard. And it was just a way that I could show and demonstrate the value that I could bring to the organization. I worked very collaboratively with everybody. And I think that was one of the ways that as a leader, I just kind of overcame any hesitation or maybe resistance to me being in any specific role, is just being true to myself, keeping my values and making sure that I worked very well with others to achieve a common goal.
You think about times where you were unsure of an outcome. How did you continue to push forward and make the right decisions as a leader?
I very much relied heavily on my faith. And I pray a lot about making sure the decisions I'm making are the right decisions. Don't always know if I'm hearing the right answer, but I just keep praying to make sure that I do the right thing. And that really gets me through. And there have been definitely times where maybe it's a change in a job, a change in a law firm, a change in a career, or moving to a new city where it's unsettling. You don't know what's going to happen. And in each move I've made, I really didn't know anybody. I didn't know many people when I went to Ohio State. I knew no one when I came down here for Dayton. And doing new things always comes with an unknown outcome. So I stay very close to my faith. I pray about the decisions before I make them and know that the rest is out of my hands. And it's a calming sense. It makes me feel as though, God's got this. There's nothing I can do to change an outcome. So I'll just continue to do the best I can. And I know he'll make it better in the end.
So during your time in building your career by saying yes to new opportunities, was there an opportunity that felt risky at the time but ended up paying off after time?
I think running for city council felt very risky at the time. And I'd probably been living in the city for a few years, but nobody really knew me outside of being a practicing attorney. And I didn't practice too much in the city where I was living. I practiced more in the county and the surrounding areas and the federal court. So I knew some people, but I didn't know a ton. And it was risky putting yourself out there. I'm sure you see what election cycles look like nowadays. It was not like that for me when I ran, but there is always that fear. But what happened after I was elected and getting involved in the city, it opened me up to meet with so many people I never would have met with previously. And Monty's a fantastic example of that. I was able to meet him at an event because I was involved with the city, and an example of saying yes. He invited me out to tour the Victory Project campus, and I was hooked from that moment. So it's always risky to do something different. But I think city council was probably the riskiest thing that I did. But it opened the opportunity for me to meet new people, engage with leaders, help and bring in regulations for the city that were meaningful and some that were just fun. So we did the Veteran Banner program in Beaver Creek recently over the last few years. And that was something I really wanted to see to honor our veterans living so close to Wright-Patterson as we do. But I think that was probably the riskiest but came with the biggest reward.
Yeah. I could add, you just mentioned you were hooked right after the tour. Could you talk a little bit about what stood out to you during your time at VP and made you even want to take a step further and be on the board?
Oh my gosh, just the mission of Victory Project is one of my favorite things. And to see the outcomes, to see both of you here. I mean, I mentioned at the beginning, big fan of the podcast. I share it with everybody. I want everyone to hear your perspectives because you both give me so much hope in the things that you're doing, the things you're accomplishing, seeing the young men who have gone on to go into law enforcement, open their own businesses, go into the trades, go on to college, start their own families. It is absolutely amazing to me. And the faith-based center of it is, to me, what's the greatest part. I'm very excited to see what's going to be happening with the girls' campus here in August. And I think, the high school campus, the middle school campus has had such great success. And I know that's just going to continue down the road. But really, just the mission itself was wonderful. And we were serving dinner here a few months ago. And I remember just being blown away by, I would say, I don't want to say self-policing, but I'll say the level of responsibility each one of the young men had. And just, making sure everyone stayed in line, making sure everyone did the right thing and correcting others if they felt that someone spoke out of line or, someone may have skipped a turn. It was just amazing to see the growth in each of you while I was here.
Throughout your career, you have emphasized having meaningful relationships. Why do you think strong relationships are important when it comes to work and serving your community?
I think that's when you start to really understand what's happening in other people's lives and what's happening in the community itself. So with those relationships, you get to see things from a different person's perspective. You get to see what life is like for them. And then when it comes to the service piece, you can look interiorly and say, what are my skills? What can I bring to this situation? What can I bring to help? The Dayton Chamber has a fantastic program called Leadership Dayton, where they bring together wonderful professionals from a variety of areas and expose them to what the education system looks like in Dayton, what the court system looks like in Dayton, what some of the opportunities for entrepreneurs are. And it gives you an opportunity to say, well, how can I help this community thrive? What skills or unique talents may I have where I can supplement? So those relationships really matter. And as you go on, Dayton is a large community, but it is also a smaller community. You will interact with the same people wherever you go. And having that wonderful network just helps. And as you go through school and you go to college, having someone from your area that you recognize, having someone who has been in the same position as you continue to advance will only help you grow and gives you an opportunity to help them as well.
So what all have you learned from serving the community?
So when I moved to Dayton, I actually used to cry a little bit when I'd have to drive back through Columbus. I missed Columbus, Ohio so much. And having to go through Columbus to get home to Youngstown. I'd get a little teary-eyed whenever I'd see the skyline in Columbus. I just missed it. But what I learned over the last, I think I've been here 16 years now, which is insane for me to think of. This community is outstanding. The business community with the Dayton Chamber, they really want to see investments here. They want to see people stay in the community. They want jobs here so that people like you can stay and work here and build a life here. And it's a great place to live. The Dayton Art Center is amazing. My daughter and I have season tickets to the ballet, and I'm habitually late, as you noticed a little bit today. So nowhere else can I roll up to a performing arts center 5 minutes before curtain, park right outside, get my snacks, get a drink, get in my seat, see the whole performance, leave immediately as soon as it's over, and be home in 10 minutes. You can't do that anywhere else. But what I really like is how invested the people are too. Everybody around here loves this community. Everybody is proud to be here because there is so much innovation happening and there is so much collaboration taking place. And it really has become this center for excellence and for growth. And being able to work with people who are so hopeful and so creative just shows that you're going to have a better future wherever you are.
Yeah, speaking about the community, talk a little bit about being recognized by the Dayton Business Journal in the 40 under 40 category. That's awesome. But how'd that make you feel? And what are some things that you do intentionally to lead to success?
So the 39 other people recognized with me are outstanding human beings. And to be recognized alongside of them, as well as the other 40 individuals over the last years that this has been in place, is truly an honor, especially as I said, I am not a Dayton local. I am not a native of here. This is somewhere I came and I worked and I did things just for my own self-enjoyment. I volunteered at the dog shelters here. I was on the John Pirelli Italian Lodge Executive Committee just because Italian and I want to be on that committee, or I'm involved in my local church because that's where I want to spend my time. So to me, I did all of these things because I enjoyed them. I enjoyed giving back. I enjoyed volunteer work, and to be recognized amongst people who have done amazing things in their careers was very, very humbling. And it was a great experience. And I tell everybody, whatever you're going to do, if you're in a leadership position or if you're looking just to get more involved, start with something that really speaks to you. Start with something you really enjoy. Like I said, I started with dogs. I love dogs. We have 3. It's crazy. It's a madhouse. But I started volunteering at a local dog shelter in high school just so I could be around dogs. And then as I got older, I would find something else I enjoyed doing. And the Italian club, I got involved in the Italian club because I love being Italian. I love that. So I like being around other people who love being Italian. So we play bocce and we have fun at the Italian Fest every September. But that just continues to open new doors, new opportunities, new chances to say yes. And it just continues to grow your fulfillment in life.
Awesome. And then earlier you mentioned your faith. So I'll add on to it just a little bit. As an attorney, it's kind of a secular field. Are there any challenges that come with that, being in that field, but still having that faith aspect?
I think people can be approached in ways that they are welcoming to that opportunity. So I'm actually part of the Dayton Catholic Lawyers Guild, which is a very niche organization, right? Dayton Catholic Lawyers. That's our thing. But we talk about this. We talk about how we can represent our clients in a way that we feel honors our faith. And a lot of it comes down to just respecting the person in front of you and taking your faith into the way you treat others, whether that's in a courtroom, whether that's in your office, whether that's somebody on the street. And a lot of times, if I have my miraculous medal on, or if I have my crucifix on, people will make comments to me about it and then tell me their story. And then you'll see that they want to talk to you about it. They want to hear, especially when I did criminal defense work, they wanted to be hopeful about it. Or if I was in a domestic relations court, they wanted some hope. So without being overbearing, I found many ways to just have very realistic conversations with people about faith and about what they were going through. And many of them found them very helpful.
Awesome. Now, put Cameron and Antonio on the spot a little bit. What impact does hearing people's story like Joanna, where they talk about their faith and their success, have on you guys?
Okay. The impact, I would say, that's really deep and inspiring to a lot of people, a lot of young leaders. That's really inspiring. And yeah, that's basically all I had to say.
I would say that your story of how like you had came to Dayton and like basically a fresh new start, and mostly all you really had was like your faith in God and like stuff like that. I would say that that's a nice reminder that God can get you like to places that you didn't really think would be possible.
And I would say both of you are on that same path. Victory Project is wonderful, but it is demanding on your time. You are committed to this. You have to say yes to this program. So as I talk about the benefits of saying yes and new opportunities, your first yes was Victory Project, and then everything that comes along with it. Your ability to, work and the wood shop and the skills and the trainings and the other people from the community that you get to interview and you get to meet and you get to talk to. That's your first yes. So you guys are already on the best first step.
And what motivates you to continue doing good for the community and serving others?
Personally, I just enjoy it. I really like helping others. I mentor a lot of students in law school and college, as well as young attorneys who have just graduated and passed the bar. I had so much help from others as a first generation college student, as I mentioned, first lawyer in my family. I had so much help from other attorneys who wanted to help me, who wanted to mentor me, who wanted to connect me with others. And I love doing that for other people. I love being able to say, oh, you're interested in this? I know exactly who you should talk to. Let me get you in touch with them. And I love seeing the relationships that foster from that. But two, also, I want my children to see how important that is. They are very blessed with their lives. And, one of the things that we do is we make bag lunches for St. Vincent de Paul. And I make sure that my kids put those lunches together and they understand what that means and why we're doing it. And when we go through and ransack the house and get rid of all the clothes that don't fit them, I make them understand why we're donating these clothes and where they're going. So a lot of it too is fostering that next generation of service leaders, making sure they understand that as blessed as they are, they also need to be giving back and they need to be doing something that their skills will help somebody else down the road.
You guys got any other questions?
No.
I have a question for
There
you.
we go. Okay.
What would you say is facing you that maybe you're hesitant to say yes to, but now you might say yes?
I didn't really like speaking in front of people like that, and I couldn't say yes to that, but now I guess I can. Like, I gotten a lot better at that. So, yeah.
You're doing great. So you should definitely say yes.
I would say the same. I would like bounce off of his answer. I would say the same thing really. I used to not really be like what would that be called? Maybe a social person, if that's the right like words for it. But now, now being at Victory Project, it's helped me a lot. So yeah.
I love that. And you both should definitely do more speaking.
Challenge accepted. I know what we're doing tomorrow, right? I'm just pay like people on the street like $10 to come and get like 10,000 people just to watch you guys public speak.
It. Get Miss Caroline on it. I'm sure we can get somebody with a news camera down here.
Start preparing now.
No pressure. You already said yes.
You did. Yeah, we have it on camera. But you guys are in the hot seat now, so questions are flowing for you guys. You think we talk a lot about community service and helping others and serving others, but I don't think there's an age requirement to start doing that. So what are some areas or some people or some things that you can serve and help your community at your guys' age?
You can spread the gospel, you can pray for them. You can give them a Bible or something. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah. And for me, I would say I went to a few community sort of service events with my mom, dad, and Nirvana, my sister. And one of them was we were building some sort of bags, and it had food. I think it maybe had clothes, just little things to get you through the week or something like that. And I was 12 or maybe 13, somewhere a pretty young age to do that. But I would say that that's one of the things that you could do as community service.
And can I ask, how old are you now?
I'm 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So see, in doing it young, it makes an impression. It stays with you, and I'm sure you knew the importance of it while you were doing it, and it's something you want to take with you. And I love what you said about praying for others. I had a good friend at my church tell me one time, I saw her and said, I was just thinking about you the other day. And she said, that means you have to pray for me. Because every time you think of somebody, it means you're supposed to be praying for them. And it made me chuckle, but it's something I kind of took with me every time I went. And literally every time I think about her, I want to say a quick prayer for her because she brought that into my life. But you guys have demonstrated so many great ways that you can get involved and remain involved. And even here, just at Victory Project, just by as you go through the program and you get older and younger boys come up from the middle school program, mentoring them and helping them, you guys are fantastic role models for that.
Thank you.
And those things that you guys mentioned, you guys didn't get a paycheck for that, right?
Right.
No.
Right. So why people listen, why would anybody want to do those things? What's their motivation? They're not getting paid for it. So why would you want to do it?
It's because for me and for most people who do it, it really like is like the highlight of your day, and it really makes your day just feel like it's just so much better and so much more lively. And yeah, you really feel like you're making a bigger impact.
It makes you feel like really good, and like you see them smile and they're happy about what you're doing. And especially if you're young, they'll really be happy seeing you do it.
That's awesome.
You think about our guiding verse. Man, I enjoy putting you guys on the spot. You guys been in class with me. I love doing this, man. Our guiding verse. When you guys be able to say it for us?
Yeah, I can say it. Matthew 5:14, you are here to be a light, bringing out the God's colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We are going public with this, as public as a city on a hill.
What does it mean to be a light? It's what we're talking about right now. What does that mean?
It means like being a leader in your community. And when it says God is not a secret to be kept, you can go and like spread the gospel and go show people like what God means and what he's talking about.
And then to add on, I would say that it's opportunities that you could uplift someone and be like she was saying, being a mentor to them. And it's usually the young generation that you're going to be being a mentor to, and just being a light and being a follower of God is basically what that would mean.
Very good.
That's good.
Very good insights.
When I was your guys' age, man, I'd be like, where's the paycheck, man? Yeah, I tell you guys all the time, man. But yeah, I think we'll go around and this will be our last question and we'll close. All right. So we'll go around, start with Cameron. We'll start with Antonio, then we'll go to Cameron, then we'll go to Miss Joanna. All right. So we talked about a lot of topics, but if you wanted our listeners to remember and to apply some to our lives of something that we talked about here today, what would it be?
I would say that saying yes to all opportunities is never a bad thing. And most of the time it's going to help you out in your near future.
I would tell them to be a leader in their community. Go spread the gospel, pray for others, and go to church.
These are all very good things. So I would say come down to the Victory Project and meet with these young men and hear what they have to say, because I can tell you my story, and I'm so grateful that you had me here today. I mentioned how nervous I was of all the engagements I've done, speaking engagements. This is the one that made me the most nervous because you guys are so good at this. And I would have everyone come down and meet with you and have an opportunity to tour the facility and just see what amazing young men are here.
I have to go last. That's the tough spot to be in after all you guys said. But I'd probably say you can't. There's 1,000 excuses why not to serve, 1,000 excuses why not to volunteer, and why not to help somebody out. Right? Don't have enough time, too busy, I'm too young, whatever it may be. Throw them all out the window. You can still uplift somebody and be a light, whether you're 12, whether you're 52, whether you work 40 hours, 60 hours, or 2 hours a week. There's infinite excuses, but stop making excuses, right?
And just say yes.
Just say yes. That's a t-shirt. We have one t-shirt per episode. That's a t-shirt right there. Just say
right.
yes.
I love it.
There we go. Well, Cameron and Antonio, thank you so much for helping co-host the show.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Miss Joanna, thanks for being our guest and all that you do.
Thank you for having me. It was so good to see you guys. Thank you.
And those for tuning in, thanks for tuning in. If you want to check out any of our previous episodes, you can check us out on Spotify, iHeart, Apple, Amazon, faithandfriendsradio.com, and YouTube. Take care and God bless.
Thanks for listening to the Victory Project podcast. If you believe in changing lives through faith, discipline, and opportunity, then you're in the right place. Keep showing up. Keep being the light. Until next time, remember, victory isn't just a destination. It's a way of life. Learn more at victoryproject.org.